We have the opportunity to make a habit of empathy, to recognize ourselves in each other.
Okay, well, one of the things that we do in mediation, at least as I practice it, is if I'm having a hard time getting people to understand each other, where the other person's coming from, if I'm having a hard time getting them to find solutions, I have them switch positions. Actually, where they are expressing, person A is expressing as if person B is expressing as if person A. That switching of roles tends to very much deepen the empathy that people feel and bring them to resolution. And an example that I can think of is there was this man and woman who came to see me. The man had an affair, and the woman wanted to take her child away to where she was from. She was from another country. And the man said, "There's no way you're taking the child out of this country. I'll never see him again." And the woman said, I just need to go to where I'm connected to people. I'm lonely here. I have no support system. I need to go home for a month, 2 months, whatever it is. And I'm not going to go alone. And the child was 4 years old. And I could not get them to find a solution. He did not want them to go. She needed support. What were they going to do? And so there was an emergency developing, in which case they were going to see attorneys and possibly litigate. And I could bring them to some intellectual level of understanding about what the other person was experiencing, but not a deep experience of what they were experiencing. So basically they switched roles. He played her role and advocated for leaving. And she played his role and advocated for staying. I was virtually certain that she would realize when playing his role, that she would realize that if the other person takes the child out of the country, it's too much of a risk. Might never see the child again. I was sure that that's where it was going to go, because that was my own predisposition, that there was too much risk for him to assume. Well, they played this role, and in the middle of it, he stopped, and he was crying, and he said, "I finally understand the loneliness that you're experiencing. Go. You go. I trust you. You can come back whenever you want. I trust that you'll come back. You get the support that you need." It was that deepening of his understanding that led them to resolution. And it's always a magic moment when one person experiences this connection with the other person's needs. I never know what the resolution is going to be. I often predict it incorrectly, but bringing them to that point brings them to the place where this magic occurs, where there's going to be some creative possibility. It turns out these people ended up getting back together. They had come to me because they needed assistance with getting a divorce, and they ended up getting back together. I didn't see them again after this. But that is one among many examples when people can mirror each other's experiences, when they can experience what the other person is experiencing, that opportunities open up for creative resolution, and often at a very deep level. And of course, I'm there translating all of this, helping them understand each other, and it's virtually impossible for me not to be moved as well, because in order for me to translate it, it has to run through me.
It seems almost like you see empathy as magic, as a form of magic. It's something that came to mind.
It is something which it stimulates the creative process. It gets people unstuck. We are usually stuck, all of us, myself included, in the solutions that we seek to our problems. We can't find our way out of them. And if you introduce an entirely different perspective on that problem, you can get unstuck. What is that internal process that happens? I don't know. Is it magic? Is it traceable? It's probably traceable internally in a person's brain. But what happens is that when you finally fully grok the other person's experience, the person with whom you're locked in a conflict, when you finally get that, really get it, then your mind begins to solve the problem. And how does the mind solve problems? Not linearly, not in any trackable, traceable way that I understand, but in some, yes, magical way. And by magic, I mean just that we human beings don't understand the process. But once you are able to grok your experience and fully understand the other person's experience at a deep needs level, at a human level, stripping the story out, and reducing it to needs so that you can get it because you have those same needs in your life, then your mind goes to work in a way that you won't understand, and it will come to solutions that'll meet both of your needs. So it's I would call it magic loosely, and to have some fun with it, but there's something that goes on in the mind, just like any other creative process where people figure things out.
So it's magic and creativity, kind of going, or maybe even creativity.
It's creativity that we don't understand, so let's call it magic. I mean, everything's magic, right? Because we don't really understand very much in the world. So why do all these things happen? This is one of the many things that we don't understand, and so yeah, in a fun way, let's call it magic. It has some mystery to it,